first thing is kind of observation is I kind of feel like it looks to me like, I feel like a lot of people are kind of in the same boat, especially on the right that I am. Like your heart is kind of with Elon, but your head is with Trump. So I think that's kind of where a lot of people kind of have this internal battle that I kind of saw play out online yesterday. And the other thing is like I'm kind of really impressed with Trump for actually being somewhat reserved in his response yesterday. So this just kind of reinforces the fact that I think Trump 2.0 seems to be a little bit more listening to the advisors and playing it down. Because you would think when someone accuses you being in the Epstein files, at that point the gloves come off and you're going to say whatever comes to mind. But I was kind of pretty shocked and proud of him for not really taking the bait on that too much. Second thing is kind of just about the reconciliation bill. This is a question. I think I want Dan to answer this one. So when it comes to the Medicaid cuts, I know Sean's talked about how like it's not really a cut because we're still going to spend like 150 billion more over the next so many years. The big thing that they keep bringing up is people are going to get kicked off their health care, all that stuff. As a Democrat, why do you defend people who are able-bodied, who aren't taking care of other people, receiving government benefits when they don't work? Like, this is the part of me that like I just don't understand as to why. Like, I thought in the 90s, Bill Clinton and Newt Gingrich, and they all came together and we changed this. We're going to work and we're going to get people off. We're going to get people off. And I watched a really great interview with, I think, Senator Kennedy from Louisiana. And he said, sometimes the first way to better yourself is to get up off the couch. So like, I just don't understand why the Democrats are going to bat for illegal immigrants getting Medicaid and able-bodied people sitting at home getting Medicaid. So I just kind of don't understand why that seems to be like a winner for the Democrats.
It's a great set of questions. And you're right. Welfare reform, was pretty successful in the 90s under Bill Clinton. I think two things. I don't hear as much defending that illegal immigrants should continue to receive Medicaid. That there's been less kind of like people standing up as a party. There may be folks on the fringe because there always are. The able-bodied question is one that I think you're right. Like there's the dignity of work. If you can and you are able, you should. It tends to create a more stable home life. If you have children, like it's more stable to have a job and to hopefully it's a job that can give you the benefit of healthcare. I think that where this gets very complicated is sometimes you have people who are taking care of, elderly parents, or they have, sick children. Like you could say, okay, here are all these excuses. I don't want to hear it. Like my life is complicated too. But that is where there is, and this is becoming less a Democrat pushback than a bipartisan pushback, because you have Republicans from, Josh Hawley's the best example from Missouri, who are really adamant about not making changes to this. And you have some other kind of Southern Republicans who are very nervous, who have an extremely high number of Medicaid recipients in their states. So you're right. In my opinion, and I think most of the people in the party, if you are an able-bodied, you're not going to say that's not a good thing. But
you keep bringing up like 10.9 million people are going to get kicked off their healthcare, but like a large chunk of those people are what we considered able-bodied. So like when you make that argument, it just kind of falls.
I haven't seen that, but okay, like I know I think it's 1.4 are illegal immigrants, so that takes it down to about 9.3 or so million now that you're talking about. I have not seen a breakdown of able-bodied or not, but we'll find out, I think.
Yeah. But look, to answer your question, because I think it's a great question, is simple sells better. And so if you can say, stop cutting Medicaid, and then I have to explain, here's the difference. You're spending what, 685 billion this year, and we'll go up to 825 billion. Here's like, people are like, yeah, but I didn't hear that. Democrats have done a much better job over the years of protecting. The fiefdom has got to be protected at all costs. That's what they do. Right. And so to answer your question, because they don't want anything, they don't want to admit any of these programs need reform because it opens the door. So the reality is that Republicans, and this is where I've pressed a lot of the folks that have come to my show at night, is you guys need to sell this better. You need to start talking, showing people, here's the actual chart. I put it up the other day. I put it on social media. I've sent it to countless people in the administration and on Capitol Hill and said, guys, just start carrying this chart around. Show them here. Because when Axios this morning talked about Medicaid cuts, that's a lie. It's just not true. It's maybe in Washington people are okay with the fact that if you get more, but it's not what you wanted, that's a cut. But that's mathematically not true. We keep talking about misinformation, disinformation, and the reality is that if you get more money than you did the year before, you got more. That's not a cut. And we, as a Republican Party and a conservative movement, need to push back very forcefully.
Well, but the reason that it grows is because there's more people coming into the program. But yeah, okay.
Andrew, thank you. Like what you see? Why don't you subscribe? This is a great opportunity to be part of unique conversations. Just hit the subscribe button. And if you want to watch our events live, go to twoway.tv.